In this video, I will share some common do's, things to think about during a date and why they're important. Now, this is not an exhaustive list, so if you ever question whether something is a do or a don't, err on the side of caution and don't. Or you can find the courage to communicate about it together. All right. Do take the lead. I've said it a lot throughout these videos, and I'll say it again. A woman is looking for a man who leads. This is divine masculine energy. This is safety. I am a strong alpha female. I run my life. I make decisions. I get shit done. And what helps me relax into my feminine and turns me on to no end is a man who fucking leads me at home, in the bedroom, on the dance floor. So, what does this look like in dating? First off, be the one who plans the date, organize the logistics, be assertive. Allow her to relax into and show up in her feminine before the date has even started. If you enjoyed yourself and you want to hang out again, let her know how you feel and be on top of setting something else up for the following week. Of course, there is a line of being enthusiastic but not desperate, of taking the lead while weighing her wants and needs versus being controlling. Walk this line, and you have no idea how incredible this feels for a woman who is used to being in charge and making all the decisions. It is a gift you can give her that she might not consciously know she wants, but believe me, she fucking does. Here's another one. Do act chivalrous. There is a whole debacle around feminism and what it represents. In its purest form, feminism is equality. Men are not better or more valuable than women. Women are not better or more valuable than men. We bring different things to the table that work together to create a whole harmonious experience. Both are necessary. In that, we also operate with different capabilities, different physical capabilities. Like men are physically stronger, whereas women are emotionally stronger. We have different mental capabilities. Women have more connective tissue and the corpus callosum between sides of brain that allow us to shift more quickly and easily between hemispheres using our right brain versus using our left brain. But men's gray matter, the brain mass itself, is slightly larger. We have different emotional capacities. We express different archetypal energies. We play different roles. You can be a feminist woman and still want a man to open the door for you. Or you can be a feminist male ally who opens the door for women. This is not about capability or feminism, meaning there are no gender roles, but instead about leaning into the natural order of how we are biologically predisposed and how we help each other in that way. Because most women are self sufficient and are also used to being in their masculine, used to doing everything on their own from a place of survival. So while she is totally capable, go ahead and open the door for her. Show her chivalry isn't dead. Gesture to let her walk through first. Now, if she refuses and has you go, she doesn't fully trust. I would encourage her to go through first again. And remember to have compassion for how much she has likely been mistreated. How many men have likely disappointed or hurt her, starting with her father. And choose to keep showing up for her throughout this date in the highest expression of your healed masculine as you can, even if you aren't interested in a second date. Unless you're sharing something, let her order her food and gesture for her to order first. Women historically have not had individual or collective voices until much more recent history. And depending on how she grew up, the woman you're on a date with might still be new in the practice of honoring hers. This can seem so simple, but allow her the space to practice using her voice to order. Pay for the date. This shows you are a provider. Walk her to her car or drive her home or order her a car, but make sure she gets home safely. This shows you are protective, that you care. Offer a hug and a kiss on the cheek rather than trying to get into her pants. This shows that you are respectful and that you care more than your bottom line, if sex is your bottom line. Do offer compliments about more than what she looks like. So it's okay to say, wow, you look beautiful, but don't make every compliment about what she looks like. Dig a little deeper. Compliment how strong or resilient she is after hearing a story. About how much passion she seems to have for things and people she cares about, how intelligent she is, and how much of an expert she is in her field, how at ease she makes others feel after witnessing her interactions with staff or even in your own body. Catcalls and comments about her appearance are a dime a dozen on the daily. You want her to know that not just your horny little dick sees her, but that you actually really see her. And she wants to know this too. Do ask open ended questions. Yes or no questions stop the conversation as soon as it starts. Open ended questions allow for stories and deeper conversation to develop naturally. You can refer to the 50 questions provided for ideas and also feel free to add your own. Do keep intimate touching to a minimum. Give this an opportunity to be an authentic connection and build safety, trust, and friendship first. Despite what the internet says, the reported stats are, if you get any number of women in a room together and ask the ones who have been sexually assaulted or raped to stand up, majority will, myself included. And not majority in the 51% is majority. Majority as in the number that stays seated, you can likely count on one hand, even in a room of several hundred. Close your eyes and imagine that. Imagine what that means. So, for this reason, I recommend that you try to stay neutral and friendly on a first date and even verbally express that you perhaps haven't before, but why you also think for the man you're becoming and the relationship you desire, it's important to hold off on physical intimacy. This will deepen her trust in you instantly. Oh, he doesn't just expect this to end in sex, which maybe you absolutely would like to for the date to end in sex. Maybe you go home and give the old boy a tug thinking about what sex with her would be like. That's okay. But you want to be different than the other guys she has dated, and this is one of the ways how. With that, I suggest you also refrain from touching her lower back, her thighs, her hands. These are all erogenous zones. They are sensitive areas that send a physical intimacy signal to the brain, which on one hand can feel nice, but on another could trigger a protective reaction in her body and mind, which you don't want. If touching does occur, keep this in mind. Nothing physically intimate should be done without explicit consent. So if you feel chemistry and want to touch, ask. Ask if she hugs before you go in to give her a hug. Ask if you can hold her hand. Ask if you can give her a kiss. And then honor the boundaries she puts in place the first time. Don't keep pressing the matter. Don't ask a second time. Don't ask a third time. Don't ask a fourth time. Leave it where it is. Asking gives her the option to decide for herself. And when you ask, this tells her that you respect consent and honor boundaries, especially if you don't keep pressing the matter. Like asking if you can kiss her now, or how about now, or come on, it's just a good night kiss. These are hard, fast no's, and show that you don't actually respect her or her boundaries, that you only care about your agenda, your bottom line. When you both ask and honor for any level of physical intimacy, it tells her that if you're interested in making sure that she is ready to hold hands or kiss before doing so, that there's space for her to say no here. It also means she can say no to having sex before she's ready without the punishment and repercussions of being gaslit, name called, or worse, which is a big deal for women. Remember the circular energy image I described in the preparation video. Choose to honor the sensitivity and sacredness of a woman receiving your energy where you give it only when she's actually ready. The same way she is expected to honor the sensitivity and sacredness of you receiving her energy into your heart only when you're ready. If you hug goodbye and feel sexual tension or chemistry, don't just plan a kiss on her mouth. The cheek is okay if you greeted that way to begin with. Otherwise, pull away, back away, bid her adieu, and go your separate ways. If ever there is a question about whether or not you should do something, again, err on the side of caution or communicate openly about it. Do follow up expressing interest in another date or with well wishes to move on. We'll cover this more in another video, but if you follow up the same night with an appreciation text or alluding to interest in seeing her again, you can take a couple of days before messaging her. If you don't, then follow up the next day. An elevated man doesn't play games or cower away from the truth. Choose to live with integrity. Be direct and honest. Use tact. Be compassionate. Again, this is not an exhaustive list of do's, but just a basic list to have a basic understanding.